Hey guys, it's me, it's QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Alright guys, today we are going to take a look at the Daughters of the Moon Tarot Pick a Card reading. This pick a card reading has a message for you from the goddess. So I do not use this deck with other people. This is a really special event. This is my favorite deck. It is my soul deck. It's very rarely even seen. I don't even take pictures of it that often because it is priceless. And when I say priceless, I mean priceless. I cannot get another one of these decks. This deck is out of print as of the last time I checked. The creator had passed over, unfortunately. May she rest in peace. And thank you for this beautiful deck. So it's priceless, and so I don't even use it much. I just use it on myself. I use it as a feel-good deck when I really need a good pick-me-up. But today I was doing a video about feel-good decks, and the goddesses were like, yo, we want to talk today. Like, we got stuff to say today. And I was like, all right, goddesses, it's my day off, but I'll do anything for you. So the goddesses want to talk to you. Number one, number two, 1, 2, 3. So for number one here, this is Spirit Quartz. This is pink amethyst. And this is black obsidian. Now, please, by the crystal or by the card, pick your card. 1, 2, or 3. Now that you're done, and if you're not done, just pause it and take your time. Just take all the time you need. See what resonates with you, because these messages are very different. So you really want to see which one is for you. So I'm going to do number one. And the first thing about this deck is that it is circular. It's beautiful and it's circular. So the way that I read them, let me show you the card. I read them how they come up. For example, this one came up just like this. I'm trying to get that gloss out your face. Just like that. Okay? If it comes up like this when I pull the card at 3 o'clock, then I read it that it's in a good place, but it's going towards the reverse. This is the reverse. If it's at 9 o'clock right here, it's not in the best place, but it's improving, depending upon what the card is. Okay? And some of these cards, as you're about to see, do not fit the traditional Rider-Waite meanings. This card here, number one, your card is the 10 of Blades. Now, traditionally, the 10 of Blades is the 10 of Swords, and it's not a good card. Well, depends on how you view it. It can be a difficult card. Let me put it like that. There are no good or bad cards. They're just difficult, or challenges, we will call them. Typically, it's a challenging card. And this could be still challenging, but in a different way. So number one, your card is saying that you need to tap into community. Okay? So you need to be with your girlfriends, your dudes, your buddies. Go play some pool, go do some bowling. This is a card about community. This is a card about spending time with like-minded souls. It could be your family if they're like-minded. If they're not, it could be your friends. It could be your support system. It could be a group of people that you decided on and created. It could be any one of those things. It could be a meetup group, meetup.com. It could be a Facebook group that you joined or created, or an email listing. It could be any of those things, but it's a group. And what they're saying is that you need to spend time. So if you don't have a community, the first thing you want to do is look at creating or joining a community. Many of us do not do well. I know I don't. I'll speak for myself. I don't always do well in community. I do well in certain ones, and certain ones people don't even know me. I'm real obscure. But the thing about it is I have a very strong support system. So if you got this card, you have to look at that. If you don't have a support system, you need to create one. And it doesn't have to be a gang of people. It can be, like in this picture, it's a lot of people in this picture. I don't even know this many people. I do know this many people, but I don't hang around this many people on a regular basis, put it like that. So this is a pretty large support system, not bad. But yours doesn't have to be this big. It can be 2 people or 3 people, It might start off just being one person and it might gradually increase. That's fine. So this is saying that you need to create or find a community. And if you already have a community, you need to engage more often with your community. If there's a beef with your community, you need to look at, working with or maybe leaving and finding a new community. So this card has all that connotation. Also, if you have an awesome community or a community that you're getting to know, this card indicates, look at the swords. It indicates protective energy. So for those of you that have a community, you might be doing something to protect your community. You might be on the neighborhood watch, for example, or you may be helping to raise funds for a community center so the kids have a safe place to play. You might be helping out with, older people in your neighborhood. So this card is about protecting your community. There might be some beef going on with your community and you might need to raise up and calm things down, It could be all kind of things like that. Also, your community could be making decisions about doing something for other communities. So like, for example, last year we raised money. And one of the things I see here is the Native American influence. And last year we raised money for a Native American group that was in California. We did like a silent auction, and all of the proceeds from the auction went to this particular center that was run by this particular group of Native Americans. I don't remember their names or the details. It was a silent auction, but it was awesome. It was awesome, and they got all the proceeds and some gifts that came from it. So maybe, it's almost the holidays. Maybe you're going to be doing something like that with your community. Maybe at your job, you guys decide to pull together and give donations to the local women's domestic abuse shelter or something like that. That's what I'm talking about. Or it might just be you by yourself saying, you know what, I want to give a donation to another community. So that kind of thing. Also, we see here the environment. So I would say anything to do with the environment, to do with animals, to do with children, to do with women, to do with people who were maybe homeless or unfortunate. Those kind of things your community could be doing something about. Community service comes to mind. So if you got card number 1 and you have a strong community, use your community for something good. Okay? Don't just go have, tea at Tiffany's. Use your community to do something good for whatever group or cause. I'm Aquarius in our causes. Pick a cause with your community and do something about it. There are a lot of people in the world that need help. Every day I pray every single day for people that are sick, people that are poor, people that are misfortunate, people who have less than me. Those are the people that your community, if you have a strong one, could be supporting. Okay? Also, you could be supporting each other in the community. Maybe you want to create a fund in your community for people who have problems paying their bills, or a fund in the community that helps kids go to college. So use your community, use the money, use the resources, use the elbow grease to really do something for everyone. Okay? And if you don't have a community, if you were in the first part of this reading, then I would say after you do establish one, that could be your next goal, is now taking, your strong community and helping others. All right. Number 1. Now we're going to go into number 2. Now remember, I told you I have to be careful with these because I have to read them the way that they came up. This one came up at 3 o'clock. There we go. Let me show it to you first. She is naked. She's gorgeous. And all the women in here are different body types and different colors, different cultures. Love the diversity. So let's put her. She came up at 3 o'clock. Let's get the gloss out of your face. There we are. Good people. Good. This one. Okay, so the 7 of Cups. Traditionally, the 7 of Cups indicates making a choice. But in this case, as you can see, it's at 3 o'clock, first of all. And it does not indicate making a choice. We have our keyword right at the bottom. So this deck is pretty simple to read. This one, because it's at 3 o'clock, you're not in an awful place. I would say. But it is going toward, it could get worse is my point. Is like when we're at 3 o'clock, things are okay, but they can turn for the worse very quickly. So this card is saying, number two, either you are jealous of someone or someone is extremely jealous of you. Now, if you're jealous, this is not a problem. Let me explain this to you. Because if you're jealous, I've noticed jealousy. I've been around the people who've been jealous of me. I don't deal with a lot of jealousy myself, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I go after what the fuck I want. Okay? If I want something, I go after it. So I don't deal with a lot of jealousy because I pretty much get the things that I want. So if you got this card and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I do harbor some jealousy in my heart, don't feel bad about that. That is a wake-up call from your spirit telling you that you are not going for what you want. You are not manifesting enough of what you want. So that is your gut. That's your spirit saying, hey, I want some more stuff. I want a better relationship. I want a better job. I want a better car. I want to feel good about myself. So whatever it is that you're lacking, if you're jealous, that's what that is telling you. So sit down and make a list of the things you want to manifest. Put them in an order of priority and then start manifesting. Get what you want. Instead of focusing on other people's stuff and being jealous of the stuff that they're manifesting, man, get your own stuff. That's all you gotta do. Get your own stuff and you'll be sitting there so happy with your stuff you won't even notice other people's stuff. So this card is about that if you're the one who's jealous. But if you're sitting there saying, Queen, I ain't jealous of nobody, I'm good. That's what's up. If you're not jealous of anybody and you're good, you got a problem, okay? Because the fact that you're not jealous of anybody is a great thing, but somebody's jealous of you. Because this card indicates the energy of jealousy. So if it's not you, guess what? It's somebody around you. It could be somebody you don't even know is jealous of you. It could be somebody that you're aware is jealous of you. It could be your lover. Maybe you're trying to start a business or do something, really important in your life or a cause or anything like that. And maybe your lover is jealous. When I was going to college, one of my lovers was so jealous when I was in junior college that he hid my books from me. We had the biggest fight because I was like, yo, you gonna give me my books or I'm gonna snap. Okay? I'm gonna snap up in here today. And he gave them back to me, but still, the point of the matter was, how dare you? So your lover could be jealous of you, your family member, your friend, co-workers could be being friendly with you and going behind your back and telling the boss that you said X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? You might not have said nothing at all. You might have been chilling and they could be lying on you. So somebody is jealous of you if you're not jealous of somebody else. And whoever this person is, it's not awful right now, but they are throwing mad shade and it could easily get worse. So if you can identify who the jealous person is, I would leave them alone. I would totally leave them alone. And I would be very cautious until I did identify who they are. Don't say nothing. Don't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're 100% sure that person is trustworthy, be very careful. Because you have a snake in your grass. And this person could very easily topple you over. It wouldn't take much to turn that 3 into a 6. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't take much to spin that right around. So whatever is going on with you, number 2, be very careful, okay? Be very, very careful. And unfortunately, you don't always know who's jealous of you. That's the bad thing about it. And unfortunately, sometimes it's somebody that you really care about. That's the worst part about it. So number 2, be really careful. Number 3, yours came up at 3 o'clock too. Okay? So let me move these out the way. Number 3, you're the only one of the 3 that got a major arcana. Ooh, let me get that glare. Good people, I'm sorry. I know that glare is not fun in your face. How about that? So, number 3, listen up. Okay, let's talk number 3. Number 3, you got Goddess Mayat. You got a major arcana and you got a major goddess. I don't think there is a minor goddess, honestly. From dealing with the goddesses, they're all pretty fierce. There are forces to be reckoned with. But Mayat is very particular and very special to me because if you take a look behind the card, and I didn't even plan this. You see the behind that card right there? There's those books right there. Those books are called the Metu Netter. 20 something years ago, I used those books to learn about Goddess Mayat. So it's kind of interesting that her card popped right there. And that's what I used. I am a priestess of Mayat. I initiated under Goddess Auset. So Mayat is the goddess, and she's also the spiritual system that I practice. So my knowledge of her is pretty intimate. So what does it mean when she comes up for you? Well, first of all, when Goddess Mayat comes up for you, it could mean that she's calling to you. Goddess Mayat, just like all the other gods and goddesses, they pick and choose who they want to deal with and who they want to work with. It doesn't matter if that god or goddess is even from your bloodline, your tradition, your ethnicity. It does not matter. Lord Ganesha kept calling me. I kept seeing him. He kept coming up at random, and I finally started to take a look at Ganesha, and Ganesha became a very important part of my spirituality. So Mayat, number 3, she might be calling you. She might want to work with you. She might want you to be a priest or a priestess, or she might want you to embody what she stands for. Mayat stands for truth, justice, love, light, okay, kindness. Mayat is all about that. She is very fair, and if you're in the right, she got your back. If you're not in the right, she's going to try to pull you to the right. So because yours is at 3 o'clock, that means that you're in a good place, but you could be better, because remember, 3 o'clock can easily turn into 6 o'clock. And the thing about Mayat is this. Mayat is a goddess who judges us when we pass away. So the Egyptians said that when you pass away, when you die, you meet up with Mayat. And Mayat takes your heart and she puts it on a scale. You see in her hand? Let me turn it around so you can see. In her hand, she's holding the scales right there. She places your heart in one and a feather in the other one. And if your heart is lighter than that feather, then you get to go on to the afterlife. You are, blessed. You've lived a good life. If your heart is heavier than that feather, according to legend, some people say you have to reincarnate. A lot of groups believe strongly in reincarnation. And in other ones, if you've done this too many times and your heart is still heavy, Anubis, another god, eats your heart. And once your heart is eaten, you're utterly dead. It means you are dead. You don't get to be an ancestor. You don't get to go to heaven. You don't get to go to hell. You don't go nowhere. You just gone. You blow out like a candle. So when we get this card from my aunt, it's asking you, is your heart as light as a feather? Have you forgiven people who have harmed you? Have you forgiven yourself? Are you full of anger? Are you full of resentment? Are you full of jealousies? See, this is the kind of stuff that makes a heart heavy. Being unkind to people, being hateful to people, not being good to yourself, not taking self-care, being unhealed. These are the things that can potentially make a person's heart heavy. So what you want to do is, because you're at number 3, because you're at 3 o'clock, number 3, you want to look at your heart. You want to look at what things are going on in your heart chakra. What is weighing down your heart? Do you have any wounds? You want to heal all of that. You want to heal all of that, and you want to become as light as a feather. And if you are somebody who's light as a feather, that is awesome. Check out Mayat. She's calling to you, And it depends on what resonates with you. If Mayat's energy is resonating with you, then go towards Mayat's energy. Mayat, like I said before, is all about the light, all about the peace, So this is what you want. This is the kind of energy you want to embody. So that's pretty much it, number 3. I would take my time if I were you. I would at least look at Mayat and learn more about her. Also, her biggest thing is truth. So are you honest? is another question. And are people being honest with you? Because if you're somebody who's a habitual liar, or if you're somebody who's been telling little white lies, or you lie here and there, my is like, yo, stop that and clean that up. And look and see if people are being honest with you, because sometimes my comes forward to tell you, to shed light for you, that somebody's lying to you. You know, so you could have recently, if you're listening to this video and you're number 3, it doesn't matter when you're listening. It could be 2 years from now. It could be 100 years from now. I could be gone. It could be a whole millennia later. If you're listening to this video and you got number 3, and you know that your heart is light, and you know that you're not harming anybody, you need to take a look and see. Just like number 2 has some jealousies going on, you might have some deception going on. Maybe your boyfriend wasn't where he said he was. Maybe your wife, maybe that ain't your baby. I don't know, but you need to check and make sure. If you think somebody's being deceptive with you, you need to do some research, because they just might be. All right, guys. Thank you for checking me out. Come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. See you later.